So Anthony, can you talk a little bit about or explain the benefits of going through a marketing process versus just trying to sell a property off market?
Yeah, I think that the benefits are tremendous for a seller to go through a formal listing process. This way, you completely expose the property to the market, and we know that we're not leaving any money on the table. If a seller is just working with one buyer, they may not know if that buyer A has more room in price or if there's a buyer B out there that may be paying more. And I like to use the example, if you have a plumbing problem at your building, are you just going to call one plumber and take that bid, or are you going to go get multiple bids? It's the same situation when listing a property for sale.
Yeah, that's a great point. How can a seller know they're getting the top price for their property unless they are marketing their property?
Right. A lot of these owners too have owned these buildings for 20 or 30 years. And a lot of owners put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into these properties. I like to say that they're just squeezing a little bit of juice out of this property every single day. A water heater breaks, they go fix it themselves. They squeeze a little juice. They increase rents over time, sometimes in incremental amounts, 2-3%. You're squeezing a little bit of juice. There's a tenant call on a Saturday and you got to miss your kid's baseball game. You're squeezing a little bit more juice out of the property. So now, 30 years later, it's time for the big squeeze. You're going to sell. Let's extract all that juice out there and formally market the property for sale and expose it to the entire market so you can extract every ounce that was put into that property over the years.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about the process and how we get to that stage where we're extracting the maximum juice?
Yeah, it's exposure, exposure, exposure. So what we'll do is create a marketing campaign for the property, put together a really nice marketing package. We'll blast it out through our distribution list. And then we'll start making calls on the property. Good thing about working with Essex is we could not only collaborate internally with our brokers, but also the outside brokerage community. And it's not, when you hire us, you're not just getting one broker to work on the project. You're getting our entire office and everybody else in the community to work on it. Our database is key. We have every single multifamily property database in the Chicago MSA, and we're in constant communication with those owners and the newer buyers that come to market. And we're going to get all of them to come and see the property and expose it to its fullest capacity. Tour dates are also like a big component of this as well. When we do tours, we're not just doing, one tour on a Thursday at 5:00 or another tour on Saturday morning. We're going to pick 1 or 2 days of the week to do tours, and we're going to give each buyer, a private 30-minute tour. So let's call it like on a Thursday, we'll be there from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. We'll bring one buyer in at 10, another at 10:30, 11, and 11:30, so on and so forth. Couple reasons we do this. Number one, it minimizes the disturbance to tenants, because we're just doing it one day during the week. And then two, it creates more competition, right? Yeah. As buyer A is coming in and they're leaving, buyer B is coming in, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's one of the things that one of the questions on the sheet was like, the beginning of your brokerage career till now, like how has your perception or your experience changed, or your idea of how the field works changed? Yeah. And that is one of the main misconceptions, or just something I didn't know, was that how highly competitive it is.
It is. It's a very competitive field. And it's a small world too. Like a lot of these folks know each other.
Yes.
A lot of them have worked with each other before, or, owners know each other, they know brokers. So it's a small community.
Yes. Like any listing that we get, obviously it's a testament to the Essex platform.
Sure.
It is highly competitive for the buyers.
Yeah.
Now being on the side where I'm representing buyers, I'm realizing, how much our process pushes the buyer to stretch.
Yeah. But what I like to tell sellers is like, my job isn't just to give you one offer and just say, hey, it's a pretty good offer. You should take it. It's pretty close to the price you want. Like, let's go wrap this up. My job as a broker is to get you 2, 3, 4, 5 offers with all different prices and terms. And then have a conversation about who these buyers are and where they're at in the process. And then go back to them for a best and final round to really push price and terms in the benefit of the seller.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's how the seller is going to get their best offer.
Yeah.
And we've seen buyers dramatically increase their purchase price, drop mortgage contingencies and inspections, all in the spirit of this competitive marketplace. And it really works.
Have you ever seen a property that you were pursuing as maybe a listing or something, and then it gets sold off market and at a lower price than you were actually expecting it to go for?
No.
I have.
I wasn't alive, but then I just said no because I
was just saying, how'd that make you feel? And I wanted you to be like,
no, I'm going to ask you the question. Have you ever seen a building that you were pursuing, or an owner, a listing? Have you ever seen that get sold off market at a lower price?
Yes. And I got to say, that's one of the most frustrating feelings that you'll ever feel in your entire life, is seeing a property that you're pursuing. You knew there was more value to it, got sold off market for under the right value.
Yeah, it's frustrating to see, owners who have, like you said, put their blood, sweat, and tears into these properties just leave money on the table.
Let's not take the easy way out. Like, let's squeeze all the juice we can out of this. And
I think that some owners maybe overestimate instead of we talked about underestimating. I think some owners overestimate the difficulty or whatever they're ascribing to it of listing a property. If you take a look at the approximate timeline, it's around 2 weeks to prepare and around 2 weeks to get two solid days of tours. So, I mean, maybe some owners are overestimating that it's going to take several months to list, and it's a very involved process. But I mean, we've been doing this for a while, so we kind of have it streamlined.
Yeah.
And it's really, why cut, why save a month when you could be saving tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars back into your pocket?
Right. Karla, can you tell me a little bit about the Chicago suburbs and the market in general, like what you're seeing and the strength of that market sector?
Yeah. Well, the Chicago MSA is vast. Our team specializes in the suburban markets, and we've seen just dramatic change over the past, since COVID, actually. COVID really drove a lot of demand.
Yes, it did.
In the suburbs. People were looking for more space.
Right. Like, I'm getting out of the city. I need more space.
Yeah, more space. People stopped commuting downtown and were able to work from home.
I think that's a huge factor
and
as well.
Yes, that was a huge factor. Schools, safety. A lot of the suburbs have tremendous, amenities. And in addition, employment is super strong in the suburbs. You have O'Hare, you have a lot of factories. In Lake County, for example, has, I believe, one of the highest concentration of Fortune 5 companies in the Midwest, if not the top number of Fortune 500 companies in the Midwest. So employment's super strong. Schools, amenities, space.
Karla, do you think that the suburban market is competitive?
It's absolutely, the suburban market is tremendously competitive. And one of the main driving factors is, we hit on it before, which is supply.
Yeah.
It's a supply constrained market. the suburbs as opposed to the city, we see a concentration of apartment buildings and multifamily in the city, whereas in the suburbs, we're looking at a larger concentration of single family homes,
Right.
a lot more open areas. And so each of these markets, we don't see a ton of activity.
Right.
There's certain suburbs where we might see an apartment building sell, every couple years,
course,
as opposed to in Chicago, obviously, many more.
There's a lot more density in Chicago.
Yeah.
There's a lot more buildings there.
Exactly. So anytime we do list a property in the suburbs, I think that's one of the driving forces to the level of activity that we garner on our listings, is just that the supply isn't there.
Yeah.
So
and
it's a golden opportunity.
It is. And I think that there's just real low velocity in development as well in the Chicago suburbs.
You're absolutely right.
Anything that they are building are, luxury A-class style apartment buildings with amenities such as pools and fitness centers, which are great, but they don't really compete with the B and C class apartment buildings, which is great for those owners as well, because the A-class buildings may be commanding for a 2-bedroom somewhere in like $3,000 for rent, where a 2-bedroom for a B and C class building might be more closer to $1,650 or whatnot.
Absolutely. And the demand is tremendous for those B and C class workforce housing assets
Right.
in the suburbs. I think, did I touch on, the Chicago suburbs were named second only to Miami
Right. I remember that.
in rent growth.
That article that came out was Rent Cafe. I think.
Rent Cafe. So the demand is there both on the rental side and the buyer side. So it's a great market for sellers, actually.
I've had several owners tell me that they're perplexed when they come to the building to show the apartment to an individual, and there's like a line of 50 people out the door to lease this one apartment up.
That's incredible.
Yeah. They've never seen anything like it before.
Where?
All over.
We need to go there.
Cut that.
Where?
Who just told me that? Someone in, I think it was like in Downers Grove or something. I forget. But they're like, yeah, like I put it up for lease and there's like 50 people that showed up to tour it. It's crazy.
Okay, so can you say that? Let me restate about how the suburbs are second only to Miami in rent growth. And then can you say that bit about?
Yeah, I don't want to be like market specific though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to keep it like
general.
Yeah.
So most recently, a study by Rent Cafe highlighted that Chicago suburbs are seeing rent growth only second to Miami.
Right.
So it's a really strong market for renters, and that bodes tremendously well, obviously, for new owners.
For the owners, yeah. Yeah, I've talked to several owners that said when they put an apartment up for rent that it's not uncommon to see 25 or 30 people wanting to tour and just receiving, countless amounts of applications. And it's tough for them to choose a tenant. But that's the competitive nature of the suburban rental market these days.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time to be working in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Like you hit on, there's very little development.
Mm-hmm.
So it bodes tremendously well for sellers and new owners.
Yeah.
That's one of the major pieces we touch on, obviously, in all of our marketing is the rent growth.
Yeah.
And when a new owner can step in and potentially garner 25, 30% more for a unit as is, that is highly compelling.
Yeah, sometimes we see these deals as value add plays, and really the only value add is to raise the rents. Like,
exactly.
You don't have to do much, just raise the rents. It's all there.
Yes.
It's the upside's there, and the units are in good condition. It's just an operational play.
Yeah, you're so right. You're so right. Especially for, longer term owners, they may have the same tenants in these units for 20 years.
Yeah.
We've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
We've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
And they're getting rent from 20 years ago as well.
Yes.
In a lot of cases.
Right.
the veteran here. Let's talk a little bit about, I guess, how you've seen the business change.
Over the years.
Yeah, over the years.
Yeah, I mean, I've been fortunate enough that my career have seen tremendous growth. Really, the only major hiccup that I've seen is in 2020 when COVID hit. That was kind of a scary time for a young broker being in the market. But other than that, there's been tremendous growth both in rent and sales prices, and tremendous demand for multifamily apartment as investments. It's become very popular over the years, and it seems to be one of the more darling of the real estate asset classes to own. I think a lot of it's just the stability, right? People need a place to live and they want to rent. Buying a house is pretty expensive these days as well, so it helps retain renters. And with the low supply of new development coming through, it really helps out these owners that have, those A, B, and C class apartment buildings, because they've seen tremendous rent growth over the years. Karla, can you tell me what the day in a life is for a multifamily broker?
It's hustling all day.
Yeah. You make a lot of calls?
Calls, driving, meeting with multiple people. If it's a tour date, you may be encountering 15 different groups in one day.
Yeah. It's a good way to get FaceTime with people.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting because there's never a dull moment.
Right.
If you have a dull moment, you're in trouble, actually.
What do you think is more valuable? Having conversations with the owners over the phone or meeting with them in person?
Always trying to meet in person.
Yeah.
There's nothing that really can take the place of that person-to-person interaction. Never underestimating, being able to read body language and just really be in tune with what people's goals are and being able to help them achieve those.
And it makes you real too, right? Not just a voice over the phone anymore. They saw your face. They sat down, had coffee with you. They think they can empathize with you more and you can empathize with them more. And I think it's just a really the fast track to create a strong bond with somebody is to have that one-on-one time in a face-to-face meeting.
Yeah, it's all about the relationship.
Yeah.
And building trust.
Sure. That's number one, right? You can be the smartest person in the world, but if they don't trust you, they're not going to give you an assignment to sell their building.
Exactly. Like, you have to earn someone's trust. It's very hard to do that over the phone.
Yeah.
So, it's about building relationships and building trust.
Building credibility.
And that, that takes time.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things I've learned along the way is that it takes a long time to build a career.
Yeah.
It's really an investment in oneself and in the market and trying to invest yourself in everyone that you can, all the important people in your market.
Right.
And that takes a lot of time.
Yeah. And it could be challenging for a new broker, right? They want to get into commercial real estate, multifamily sales.
Yes.
And they don't realize sometimes how long it could actually take to build up that trust and credibility with the people in the marketplace.
Yes. And there's really no shortcuts.
Right.
Yeah. Initially, I was very fortunate. I got listings very easly.
I think you broke a Essex record for the fastest listing.
I might have. And, but it's easy to have some beginner's luck, I would say.
Yeah.
But
everyone's past different too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's no shortcuts. And the minute you stop putting in the effort, that's the minute that
the effort stops paying you back.
Yes.
That's really what it is. For any new brokers, just don't put the phone down.
Tape it to your head.
Yes.
So yeah, a big part of brokerage is having difficult conversations.
It is.
I mean, these are sometimes there's attachment to assets. It can be, we like to think that our business is just numbers driven,
Right.
but these can be emotional
As well.
circumstances and situations. So can you talk a little bit about navigating some of those difficult conversations?
Yeah, I think navigating a difficult conversation, whether it's with a seller or a buyer, especially when you're under contract, the first things first is being empathetic to the situation, and then putting your own ego away is huge, right?
Yeah.
Our goal is to get the property to the finish line. That's usually what is best for all parties involved. They're under contract for a reason, and let's let cooler heads prevail and think about solutions rather than what the problem actually is.
Yeah.
How do we solve it, right?
Yes. I like to try to understand what's really, really the most important
Right.
to each party. Is that time? Is it money?
Mm-hmm.
Other factors? And try to fulfill, the greatest need, understand, and like you said, empathize with the situation.
And I think you got to put the other person in the other person's shoes. So you have to put the buyer in the seller's shoes and the seller in the buyer's shoes.
Yeah.
A lot of times, and you get them to understand what their issue is and how they're seeing that issue and how it's being portrayed to them. And a lot of times, if you could do that effectively, you can diffuse a situation instead of it escalating into something bigger than it needs to be.
Yeah, good point. I guess it boils back down to the trust.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're there to help each party fulfill their goals.
Yeah.
It's not about us, and it's about them.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm done.
That's a wrap.
Y'all did it.